Hi, my name's Kerry Sutcliffe and I'm the hypnobirthing mum. And now I'd like to tell you about our third and final birthing experience. So, with our third child, we'd now moved to Australia from the UK. So now we were navigating a slightly different system here. And I booked into the birth centre with midwifery led care at RPA in Sydney. And again, my pregnancy, I've always had, I've been fortunate to have really good pregnancies, feeling good, not too tired, not sick at all, which was really helpful to me. We were now on the other side of the world. We had two little ones, we had a 2-year-old and a 1-year-old. I can't think now. We had 3 babies in 33 months anyway. And so again, with our third, I was again heading towards birth, feeling really excited about this third and final time. I knew this was going to be our last child, and I couldn't wait. I couldn't wait. And we'd started a new life in Australia, and this baby was going to complete our family. So pregnancy was pretty uneventful, other than the fact I was running around after 2 other very young children. And when it came to the birth, again, my third child went past their estimated due date. My babies get comfy. They like to stay in there, as many babies do. Your due date is often something that comes and goes and you haven't yet met your baby. And our third baby decided that 6 days past my estimated due date, he was going to give me the suggestion that he was coming. One evening, I remember I started getting surges, started feeling like, here we go, we're in labour. I'd had a 12-hour labour with my first, 6-hour labour with my second, and I remember thinking, I'll better be switched on here a little bit, just in case we get a shorter labour again. And on the evening, it was a Thursday evening, I remember thinking, well, okay, but I'm going to go rest. The 2 children are in bed. I'll rest a bit. Let's see what happens. And throughout the evening, I very much felt like things were getting stronger and so on. But when I went to bed to rest, I fell asleep and woke up in the morning. And I had a few niggles again in the morning, but nothing. It didn't establish itself as being active labour. And the same thing happened again on the Friday night. And I'd go to sleep and I woke up again in the morning and thought, what is going on here? Because with both my girls, once I'd had signs of labour starting, it just kept going and snowballed, so to speak, and I held my baby at the end of it. Whereas baby number 3 was doing this stop-starty prodromal labour where I'm coming, I'm having a rest, I'm just giving you signs here, okay? And then on the Saturday evening, again, I started to get these surges and I thought, here we go again, whatever, I'm going to go to bed, I'm going to sleep through and I'm going to wake up again tomorrow morning. But actually I couldn't get to sleep that night. It was getting stronger, it was getting more intense, and it got to the stage where I thought, actually, I think we're getting somewhere here. And I laboured at home for as long as I felt comfortable, and then I got to the point where I said, now's the time to go. And this was around midnight or so. We got to the hospital, we got to RPA at about 12:30, midnight, and I was shown into my room in the birth centre. Again, I heard all of my births have been supported by midwives, and we got into the birth centre, and the midwife at that point said, I'm going to let you get settled into the room. I just need to pop next door. And I could tell she needed to pop next door because I could hear the woman labouring, and I was like, no problem, off you go, she needs you more than I do at this stage. And this was at midnight, and another midwife came across from the labour ward to see me and to support me, and within 45 minutes of arriving at the hospital, our third baby, our baby boy this time, was born in the water, middle of the night. It was the vision that I'd always held for birth, and again, just absolutely ecstatic when you have a physiological birth, and where you're working with your body, your hormones, you're leaving yourself to do this. That oxytocin goes through the roof at that point where you hold your baby. It was absolutely amazing. I was on such a high and I couldn't wait to get home. And so around 6 a.m., my husband went home to collect the girls. They were going to be waking up in the morning with mum and dad not there. So we'd had our neighbour come in and look after our children. And so he went home to collect them. I would have gone with him if I could, but there was still a few checks and stuff they wanted to do on baby hearing and so on. So they came back a couple of hours later. They were introduced to their little brother, and I couldn't wait to go home. And I did at about 9 a.m. that morning. So, 8 and a bit hours after giving birth, I went home feeling good, feeling great, being able to retreat to my own space where I felt most comfortable with my family. And again, just another amazing experience. And because we were now in Australia, when our youngest Jack was approaching a year, I made the decision that I wanted to get back into the workplace. And so I researched the different hypnobirthing programs available here in Australia. And it was the Hypnobirthing Australia program that I really connected with and that made a lot of sense to me. And when I was training in the Hypnobirthing Australia program so that I can now deliver it to other pregnant mums and their birth partners, I remember thinking that it's so much more comprehensive than what I'd been taught in the classes that I did back in the UK, to the point that I was coming home from training and saying to my husband, John, I think we should go again. I think we should have another baby. There's all this other stuff that we didn't know about, that we weren't aware of. And we've had 3 great births, but what if we could do all of this stuff again? And thankfully, my husband convinced me that having another baby for research purposes wasn't the way to go. We knew that our family was complete and so on. But I generally get so excited for the parents that I now support, knowing that they've got such a great program available to them to really give them the knowledge, the skills, the tools, the techniques to have a great birth. So I've had 3 great births, all very different circumstances, and that's the beauty of hypnobirthing as well, that it helps to prepare you for all eventualities. Hypnobirthing parents are really good at adapting to circumstances and making sure that they have the best birth possible with the circumstances that they get given. So I hope you've enjoyed listening to me talk about my births. I could talk about them all day to anyone who will listen. But now I want you to know that you too can have a wonderful birth. I hope you're enjoying pregnancy. It's a very, very special time. And I hope that those moments leading up to meeting your baby for the very first time are magical too.